Hello, welcome to Co-Creating the Cosmos. I'm Holly. Thank you for joining me. Today we'll be talking about the Capricorn full moon happening on June 29th, 2026 at 8 degrees, 14 minutes Capricorn at 7:56 p.m. Eastern Time. This is going to be an Astro-Lunar Tarot reading, so we'll talk a little about the moon and some things I've been thinking about astrologically, and then we'll do a quick tarot reading. So this moon is connected to the new moon that happened 2 weeks ago in Gemini on June 15th, 2026. And it's also connected to the new moon in Capricorn from 18 months ago. This is part of the lunar gestation cycle that was on December 30th, 2024. So think back 2 weeks. What were you thinking about? What kind of intentions did you plan, if you planned any, or what was going on for you? What was going on for you at the end of December in 2024? This full moon is going to shine some light on what was happening then, both 18 months ago and 2 weeks ago. And you're going to be asked to commit on a deeper level to how you want to go forward. So something's coming to fruition. Something is going to become clear, and it can be celebratory, right? It's a time to celebrate. It's a time to be seen. So I had some thoughts about this full moon because there is a lot going on in the sky right now. Currently, we have Mars and Uranus in Gemini trining Pluto in Aquarius. So you can hear wind blowing around, right? I am in a very windy place right now. There's also Neptune in Aries is sextiling Pluto in Aquarius. And Leo, we have Venus in Leo also sextiling Uranus in Gemini and Pluto, and Pluto in Aquarius. So there's a lot of air and fire energy happening. And currently, you can't really see it at the moment. I'm in a place where there are at least two fires happening right now. There's one just north of Sedona, and then there's one just west of Flagstaff. And part of it is the fires are really growing because there's so much wind. And where I am, I'm working with a battery right now. They have turned off the electricity to try to mitigate possibility of power lines coming down. So that is very Uranian connecting with Pluto. It's also very Martian, right? There's fire and air, and then we have, all these planets are about to move into Leo. We have Jupiter about to move into Leo. So the possibility for a lot of this energy it's already happening. So keep that in mind. I'm kind of living the real life example at the moment. So full moon in Capricorn, you know, I've been thinking about, okay, what is it that, this is a really good time to sort of assess actually what's been happening over the last few months. In February, Saturn and Neptune conjuncted at 0 degrees Aries. So the cosmos was giving us this chance to reset, to move forward. 0 degrees Aries is the beginning of the zodiac. So let's see what I wrote down here. I was going for a walk and I was thinking about Saturn and Aries, and because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So there's a square happening, and with the moon and the sun is in Cancer, squaring Aries planets right now. So we have Saturn and Neptune being squared. Capricorn kind of likes to have a little bit of friction, likes to have a little bit of something to work with. So I thought, okay. When Saturn and Neptune came together at 0 degrees Aries, we were looking at, like, what is this new dream we want to move forward with? Neptune's about dreams. It's songs, you know, movie, like it's imagination. It could be realizing, wow, there's something happening for me psychologically that I need to look at as well. And then Saturn gives it structure. Saturn crystallizes things. Saturn is manifestation. And we had Saturn and Neptune coming together at 0 degrees Aries, I think for the first time in over 6,000 years, where reality seems like it's kind of dissolving. And we have this chance to build a new reality. I mean, it's very cosmic, right? It's cosmic. It is. I mean, this is cosmic. And whether we're aware of it or not, you know, what have we been bringing in to our lives? How have we been looking at our reality? At the same time, we have Gemini had just recently moved, Uranus had just recently moved into Gemini, and Uranus is like surprises and surprise change and sometimes shock. But I was kind of looking at it as while Uranus is in Gemini, we get to experiment with the power of word. We get to experiment with the power of communication. So what are you, you know, like, what have you been telling yourself, like, over the last, you know, several months, pretty much since 2026 began, right? And you can even look back to those last 18 months, right? Because we have 7 years to play with Uranus and Gemini now, and even like double that time with Pluto and Aquarius, which is both Gemini and Aquarius are kind of like the nervous system of our culture in a way. Okay. So first, let's bring it back to the moon. So I love to quote Caroline W. Casey Making the Gods Work for You. She wrote one book. She is an astrological activist. It's pretty amazing. But this is what she says about Capricorn, the moon in Capricorn. My tradition can downsize your tradition. We are the administrators who manage and run the community according to a larger principle. We admire, study, and implement the efficiency of nature. Nature's really singing right now. We are ambitious and pragmatic. We store grain. We set up commerce and trade. We plan and build empires. We know that gurus stop evolving when surrounded by sycophants rather than by colleagues who give them a playful hard time. So, like I said earlier, Capricorn kind of likes to have a little bit of friction. Because this is how Capricorn learns. So, the moon is, like I said, square Aries. We have Aries with two planets that are beginning. We are at this place of new beginnings. This is sort of this cycle with Saturn and Neptune is 35 years. So just like the moon and the sun having their monthly dance and then their 2 3/4 year dance, or 2 1/4 year dance, they have this 35-year dance, right? So I was thinking about Saturn in particular, because Saturn rules Capricorn. So Saturn rules Capricorn, and Mars rules Aries, where Saturn sits. So my question is, I wrote this: as you commit to your life's purpose, your intentions, ask yourself if it feels energizing to you. So you may have been coming up with some ideas, or you may have been getting vision of what is my next thing? The thing is to check in and see if it's energizing, because Mars is where you have energy. If you're not feeling energy for the vision, that's yours. That's another thing with Aries, is this vision is yours. Capricorn will work with Aries and be like, all right, you got this idea, let's put it in, let's do it. Let's finish it. Let's make it happen. Mars is the planet that initiates. If you don't feel inspired or excited, you may need to change it up. So one of the ways in which you can sort of see where you might be excited, if you're feeling kind of I don't know, and this is kind of an I don't know time. We're gathering information right now, though the moon is this full moon in Capricorn is giving us a glimpse of clarity. If you look at your chart, you can go to astro.com and see what house your Mars is in. And that will tell you sort of where you have energy. So Mars, depending on which chart I look at, it's either in my 11th or my 12th house. So my community, my friend groups, I am inspired by others. I am inspired working with others. I've been struggling. I live in the woods, so it takes me a lot of time to get to my community, right? So I can run out of steam. I have to be very careful. I'm trying to find ways in which, where I live is where I'm going to be for at least for a while. So how do I, gain energy? And the 12th house is kind of is the unseen world, is deep psychology, is past lives, is kind of a dream world, the unseen world. So using my imagination can be helpful. The thing is, like, I really like using my imagination and also spirituality with groups. So I'm beginning to kind of see that, right? So if you look to see where your Mars is in your chart, you'll get an idea about where you will have like natural inspiration. Even though at this point Saturn and Neptune have separated, they're still close and both are still in Aries. This Aries energy is the overarching theme and undercurrent energy for the next 35 years. I told you this is a 35-year cycle until Saturn and Neptune meet again. So the questions that are coming up or could come up for you are, who are you, right? Are you in alignment with your soul's purpose? You know, what is your soul's purpose? And Neptune will help you with the soul's purpose. And for me, my soul's purpose is in my 12th house or my first house, kind of, depending on how I look at it, which again is spirituality, imagination, unseen realms, other dimensions coming into first house, which is self-expression. Aries is also about self-expression and really letting yourself be who you are in the world, right? So right now I know so many people who are saying, like, all my life, all I ever wanted to be was this. I wanted to do this career and I've done this career. And now suddenly it feels empty to me. It's so painful to go to this job that I trained for, that I've been doing my whole life, and I do good work. I'm good at what I do, but suddenly it feels meaningless to me. That is Saturn and Neptune kind of dissolving what had happened. Like, I also was going through this thing where, do I really want to be an artist? Do I really want to, be a creative person? And I had to just let it go for a little while. And yes, I do. I have been, like, I knew what I wanted to be when I was a little kid. And it's like, I feel like this Aries, right, is also the child of the zodiac, honoring that child self. Like, did you really want to be a lawyer? Or, was it actually that you wanted to be a writer, right? A novelist or something, right? That's what I mean. Like, people are, all I ever wanted to do was this, but they've got 6 partially finished novels sitting in a drawer, So that kind of stuff is going to be lit up right with the moon. There are all kinds of other things happening with the planets, but with the other planets, but I wanted to focus on the moon. Capricorn does not get discouraged easily. So give them a little something to rub against, and they're gonna work with it, yeah. So look at where Mars is, because that rules Aries, and that's your spark, your energy, your drive. Look at where Saturn is in your chart, because that is the rule, because Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. And like I said before, that structure, crystallization, and manifestation. And then, because I was talking about Saturn and Neptune, where is Neptune in your chart? It's the dream, it's the song, it's the movies, it's the imagination, it's, interdimensional. Yeah. We're also going to have Mars, which is very fiery, in a few days after the full moon, conjuncting Gemini. I think it's the 4th of July. So that's going to be interesting. There's going to be some interesting news. Not that the news hasn't been interesting, but there will be interesting news in the news, and maybe some surprises. And also in our own lives. One other thing I'd say, if you're driving, be careful and don't play with fire. Okay, so let's see what the cards have to say for the full moon in Capricorn right now. So again, 2 weeks ago for the Gemini new moon, and in December 30th, 2024, the new moon in Capricorn. Like, you know, look back and see what you were up to then, what has come to fruition, what do you need to say to the world, yeah, this is the thing I'm doing now. It's time, or it's time to move toward that. The moon is bringing that to light, because it's that's what the full moon does. You know? What do you want to put out there? Capricorn is out there. Capricorn is at the Cancer is like home. Capricorn is, how are you in the world? What's your reputation in the world? Cancer is where the sun is. Okay, we're almost there. I'm waiting for some cards to jump out, and then in a minute I'm going to just pull a card or two. Tell me something about the full moon in Capricorn. Full moon in Capricorn. This is a general reading. You can book readings with me at holly-troy.com/tarot. And I am doing most of my readings are on sale, and I'm doing a big discount on one question quickies, which is you send me a question and I pull a card or two and give you a 5-minute response. Super quick. That is via video only. Most of my sessions are on Zoom unless we're close. What's going on for Capricorn moon, Capricorn moon this week? Happening in a day or two? Woo! All right. That fern is really getting rustled about. Okay. All right, I have 4 cards here. So one is, we have the 4 of Cups, and it's reversed. This person is contemplating perhaps a friendship, or perhaps the foundation of some relationship. And they're pensive, right? So you might be thinking about friends. You might be thinking about, because the 3 of Cups, right? You see the 3 women dancing, and they're having a great time. And now it's like, it's kind of like the, all right, coming down to earth kind of assessment, like. And then you see this cup that this person hasn't noticed yet, right? So that is like the Ace of Cups. It's like divine, like something's coming in. And something new is coming in, if you're open to it. And I think at this time there is not like there's new stuff coming in. It may be a time of some, it seems to me like of some sadness, but just know that there is this new feeling arising. There's this new conviction. And also, we've got this, you can ask yourself, like, what is my part in this feeling? Like, what, if something is like settling in, like, or settling down, or you're feeling uncomfortable about something, you know, what is my part in it? And can I be open to letting the outcome be the outcome, like not controlling it? Because when we let go of control, when we surrender to something bigger than ourselves, new things come in. Then we have the Queen of Wands, which is like one of the best cards in the deck. And, you know, she is, I could say she's, this is making me think of Jupiter just about to move into Leo. It's happening very, very soon. I didn't look up Leo, but I didn't look up Jupiter, but it's at 29 degrees Cancer as of the full moon. So there's warmth and expansiveness coming in. The Queen of Wands is very attractive, is warm, is generous, is she embodies creativity, inspiration. So, you know, you might be feeling a little bit blue, but then like something new is coming, and it could be this energy of inspiration, or as you let whatever it is go, this inspiration moves in. Eight of Swords reversed. Again, it's like there's this realization that there's something you were holding on to that you don't need to hold on to it anymore. It's a mental construct that has been keeping you trapped, and in this position it's just kind of like, oh, okay, like I don't need that. I don't need to keep thinking the same thoughts. I don't need to you know, make us a response the go-to, a certain reaction. You can slow down and respond, but there's something that just kind of dissolves, and you realize it. You realize it after it has gone. It almost becomes effortless, or, you know, when you let yourself, wow. When you let yourself be willing to be, when you're willing to be willing, all of a sudden the willingness happens, and things just release. Okay. Then we have the Three of Swords, which is kind of like, again, a new thought comes in, and or words are spoken. It's like what has been said can't be unsaid, right? So it's like you can't unhear it, or you can't pull it back. It's been said. And so it circles back, I feel, to this, where it's like, oh wow, this experience may not, you know, I don't know what's going to happen, right? But the good thing about what's been said that can't be unsaid is that you know where you stand, right? And it's like, think about how you want to be inspired. And the energy of the Queen of Wands is ultimately inspiring. Like something really exciting is percolating. There might even be someone in your social circle or someone you meet, or this is an aspect of yourself. This person or this aspect really gets you excited, but also I'd like to say calm. Like, you know you're taking the right actions, which is why this kind of dissolves. It's like, oh wow, I thought I was like a prisoner to that, but it doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't even matter anymore. And so then you hear something and it's like, or you hear something. I think it's more like we're hearing, I'm hearing that it's like less so much something comes out of your mouth as you hear something that just kind of solidifies this, and it might feel more like, wow, I spent so much time, kind of, putting effort into this thing, and it really doesn't matter anymore. So if it does hurt, you can take a little bit of time and acknowledge that, right? Like I said, the acknowledgement, and then the releasing, like giving it to, like, hey, okay, I'm, like, let yourself feel whatever it is you're feeling, helps you to get to this and to dissolve this and to be inspired. This is like emotionally inspired, creatively inspired. Mental cages are released, and some of them are kind of blasted away, right? And then finally, I put the deck down and I happened to put it upside down. We have the King of Pentacles, which really, again, Capricorn. The King of Pentacles is like, knows what to do. This whole thing here is like, all right, you have looked at where you are and acknowledge what you have, acknowledge where you experience wealth, where you experience health, and what it is you need to do to go to the next level, or I'm gonna say level, the next season. There's a little bit of planning that the king always knows. He's like, the harvest has happened. Everything is like put in silos so that, the people are taken care of. The people, all your aspects of self, or your family, but like really, like, I think with all this Aries, it's like, all right, I've done all this assessing, certain things are falling away. This is further saying that if you assess and you know where you stand, you know where you can go. You know what you need to do next. The king takes a few minutes to look everything over before moving on to the next thing. But there's this sense of brutal honesty right now. Yeah, brutal honesty. And working with it. I mean, the Capricorn moon is like, all right, this is a challenge, and I'm up for it. I want to know the direction that I am going, right? This is super cool, actually. Very interesting group of cards. Very interesting week. We have a very interesting dance happening in the sky. Leading into July, which is going to become even more intense as Jupiter moves into Leo, and then Mercury moves into Leo, and Venus is already in Leo. I mean, everything's moving along. And we're going to get more clarity from those bigger planets too. So be open to what information you receive right now, what clarity you get, and allow yourself to digest the situation and to be inspired by it. We have, this is one of the best cards in the whole deck, this beautiful queen. And then we have the king that knows what to do with what he's got. Have a beautiful week. Be safe out there. Again, if you'd like to get a reading with me, you can go to holly-troy.com/tarot. You can book a reading with me. And I'll see you soon. Happy summer. Peace.